Humanatory. Humanatory was built out of the need for human companionship, a togetherness that only comes from people helping others. We wanted to be able to tell our stories and share our expressions with everyone who needs them. By us telling our stories, we're able to share that moment that forever changed who we are. But the idea is not just to tell our story, but to share the journey in how we overcame that moment in our lives, allowing others to read and see the story and connect to the one sharing. Most people want to tell the horrid things, but fail to share the accomplishments. At Humanatory, we are not those people. We are strong, the winners. We are the achievers. We believe that sharing our experiences will help someone out there in the same situation and allow them to connect with others that have already conquered their struggle. We give the resource within our stories to help those who otherwise would fall. The help to stand up and face what is in front of them without fear or doubt. We believe everyone has the ability to succeed in life. If you are alive on this little rock hurtling through the endless void we call the universe, you are a Humanatory. How much of one is up to you.
It is another fantastic Friday, and hello and welcome back to another exciting episode of Humanatory Lives, Coffee with Humanatory, episode number 43. I am joined by the fungus among us, and if you'd like to join the conversation as well, simply log into our current Humanatory Live thread and give us your best shot. If they're good, I'll read them on the air, and if they're bad, the fungus among us will read them on the air. Coffee with Humanatory is the unscripted show whose theme is created by members, for members, and involves Humanatory community members from around the world. Who knows what will be next? We do. We have Mr. Sargent and
Mr. Richards.
Richards? Is it Stevens? Richards? I can never remember his damn name. He has two first names. What do you want from me?
Hey, you gotta think Reed Richards from Fantastic Four.
Exactly.
God damn, he doesn't even know his own people's name. You know what? That's all right. We'll get it down. The more you talk, the better it is. So remember, if you can't find it, you're probably using Burt's Beeswax Lip Balm Cap in a spaceship from Mr. Sargent, somewhere off grid. But more importantly, the more you weigh, the harder you are to kidnap, so eat more buttery biscuits. Callers can call in at 1-619-798-6307 if you're in the San Diego area. And if you don't care about long-distance chargers, you can also Skype us at Humanatory, Humanatory, for a worldwide connection. Messages will be heard and aired during the show, so be sure to let us know that you're referencing Coffee with Humanatory, number 43. If you're having trouble using phones and Skype, you can always Twitter us at Humanatory. You can submit your stories by simply going to humanatory.com and clicking the submit button. It's as simple as that. Reading with Humanatory airs 12:30 p.m. Saturdays, and the Coffee with Humanatory on Monday will reflect Reading with Humanatory for those of you that read. So, today is our Fantastic Friday, Flat Friday number 6. So the question of the day is, should we present both the historic enclosed world map along with the current map taught in schools today? I don't have to ask Mr. Sargent that question because I think he already has the answer to that question. So, Mr. Richards, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. Yourself?
Great. How is the fungus among us?
The fungus among us, I had to peel myself off the wall because, I'm the mold on the wall. So I had to peel myself from the wall to get over here to the show.
That is some horrible imaging right there. It's fantastic.
Nothing more horrifying than my lip balm. Do you really want to hurt me?
Oh, God, don't do that. Seriously, gotta do a
Oh, that's funny.
Okay, so there was a few questions that came in from last week.
Yeah.
I figure we'll go ahead and get through those because I'm sure that you guys are all eager to answer my question of the day. And so let's start with Nelson Viscotti. It looks like he was doing a flat Earth support. I don't necessarily think it was a question, but we'll give it a shot. If the Earth is spinning, how could we see the same area of the sun all the time? The sun and the moon and all objects are fixed. Knowing this makes me realize how special we humans really are.
The moon doesn't. Well, the moon rotates, but it rotates perfectly with us. So we only see one side of the moon. Now, the sun supposedly rotates, but that's a whole nother. But you can't stare at it. But yeah, it's like any good movie, or as recent as Neo, The Matrix. You know, that they wanted him to find out for himself. Yeah, they showed him a few things, but he still had to take the path. Those are the best stories where, you know, you've got a higher wisdom that's trying to coach you along down the road, trying to get you to figure this stuff out. And unfortunately for us, the things were hidden so well that it was right in front of our faces and we couldn't see it. I don't know if I remember telling you, but back in 2000, literally when this was right in front of my face, when I was trying to find pictures of the Earth from space, full lit pictures of the Earth from space for the monitors in my computer tech department, and I couldn't find them. There was literally only one image, and I was just sitting there right there, and I could not see the forest for the trees. I didn't understand. It's like, why is there only one picture of the Earth from space? And I remember yelling at the screen. I was going, NASA, you suck. You're so bad at this internet thing. I mean, it was staggering for me to see. Because again, why pilots don't see it, why surveyors don't see it, why nobody sees it, because we're not looking for it. Nobody was looking for it. That's why everybody fell for it.
I'll be honest, I wasn't really looking for it either. Now that you got me thinking about all this crap, all I ever find myself doing is staring at the fucking moon. Freaking moon. Freaking.
Yeah, I know. You look at everything differently, and it's really, really amazing. But again, it's the ultimate street magic trick. Where everyone thinks that's the big buildup of any street magic. You know, it's like, oh yeah, I pulled a quarter from your ear, or I found this and that, and you're thinking, oh, and then he's got, okay, I've got one more trick for you, and you're ready for it. It's like, okay, I got it. You're never gonna fool me. And it turns out, you know, the card was in your back pocket the entire time. He had it there since day one, and you were always no different than this. You were born into this. You never had a chance. People, that's why I think people get so angry and so worked up. It's like, I can't be fooled. You can't fool me. It's like, dude, you were fooled before your grandparents were born. You never had a chance. So don't get over it. It's just it's the ultimate magic trick. So anyway,
I have nothing to say for that except yes, awesome, great news. So proud of you and Patricia. It was from Carly Sunshine. Give her a little credit.
Well, thank you, Carly Sunshine. That's great. If she's happy for Patricia and I for getting the radio show, then that's
she wasn't very specific. I'm guessing it was from last show.
But it's going to be, from what I understand, it's already developing, even though it hasn't even had its first day yet. It's developing into kind of a flat Earth radio network. So it's going to be called, if I'm not mistaken, the Flat Earth Network, and then the show I'm going to be on is the Flat Earth Show, and then other people are going to have their shows. But
well, you know, I'll subscribe. I want to be the first subscriber too.
Because you were the first one to buy my book.
I got this.
You probably paid more for shipping than the book cost.
Yeah, I know I did. Yeah, because I also shipped it to you.
Right, but I also found. Yeah, I know. Then you shipped it to me, having me sign it. And hopefully I'll get it today. Just so you know, because I initially said that it came from London. The publishers were in London, but they have a fulfillment house in South Carolina. So the book was actually printed. If it's in the States, like any place, you know, because you want to save money by using a local printer. So they printed that particular version in South Carolina. But if you were like in UK, I think they printed in UK and so on and so on.
Order over chaos. Now, this guy's a skeptic, and he says apparently Mark Sargent isn't required to explain how he knows we likely live in a Truman-like closed-in structure. That model has not been shown to reflect any reality anywhere other than the imagination.
The proof. Where is the flat Earth proof? I treat this, and I'm going to be working this into debates because it's probably going to be my best move.
Well,
And
let me finish because he has more
okay.
questions.
Oh, really?
So you just relax yourself, okay? Because here's the serious
Well, I
stuff.
can't do too many questions in a row, but go ahead.
Shouldn't we be given a reference point for what is real, natural, and genuine so that we could know if it's something artificial?
Okay, I treat it like a court case at this point, and that is, in a court case, the opening remarks are, and I'll give you the short version, is that, no, you're absolutely right. Flat Earth is conjecture, it's speculation, it is circumstantial evidence. But of course that's silly to say, because if anyone actually had a picture of the flat Earth, we wouldn't even be talking about this right now. The whole world would be in some sort of chaos, either good or for bad. But as far as a court case goes, the flat Earth doesn't necessarily have to prove anything, because the burden of proof is on the globe side, and that's where we really score high marks, because we create massive amounts of reasonable doubt in the globe model that shouldn't be there. The globe model, because it's like, well, it's a given. Obviously, we know that it's a globe. Well, really? Because we can show you a whole bunch of stuff. I can't even list them off, even a fraction of them off in this program, of why the globe model is having problems standing up to scrutiny. So, and everything points to, yes, at that point is like, is it perfectly flat? Is it domed? Is it not domed? Is it, whatever shape you want it to be? To the flat Earth movement, it really doesn't matter, because the one thing that everybody's on the same side when it comes to this, everybody's got the same goal, and that is, we know for a fact that it's not a globe, and they're going way out of their way, and by that I mean the authority, to hide what they initially advertised the world to be.
Okay, so that our logo is...
Yeah, I know, you got to change that.
Yes, our logo is a globe, right? Well, here's the thing. You know that I love Niels. He's a great scientist, yada, yada, yada. My thing is this.
Yeah.
Why would somebody like that get out on stage, and instead of actually having the foresight to understand that he's charismatic, so you think that he would automatically, and I'm not trying to get into this whole let's be the Inquirer. I mean, yeah. I'm just stating the fact that if he had gone out on stage like a real scientist and said, look, here's why I believe, instead he gets out there for showmanship, throws a mic across on the floor, and he acts like an idiot instead of being intellectual like he's supposed to be. And I have a hard time with that, because I followed the guy until he did that. Like, he literally pushed people away by doing that. And I don't understand what the logic behind that would be, other than to try to make Flat Earth look stupid. But it's obviously not stupid. There's a lot of people that believe in it. So what are your thoughts?
All right. He's the face of science. He's got a real opportunity, though, and that is, if I was Neil deGrasse Tyson, I would have this big moment, eventually have this big moment of conscience, where he actually goes out and says, look, I've made a mistake. We made a mistake. We did it for your own good, but it's time to reveal the lie, to reveal the deception. And
well, no. I mean, what I'm saying is, even if he believes that it is round, but still, he goes out and he acts like a retard rather than being a scientist he's supposed to be.
What are you going to do if you've got 20 years of schooling under your belt? That's what you're going to do. The books say that it's round. Every science book says that it's round. Therefore, if you're a scientist, you're going to preach it, and you're going to ridicule anything that goes against it.
All right, so I'm going to cut you off here, and we will be back shortly, people. Humanatory is the story of humanity, one person at a time. We believe each person has a story to tell, and each story shapes that person into who they are today. Collectively, and more importantly, each and every person's story shapes this little blue rock we call home. We are all together whether we like it or not. We also believe that your unique story might just help someone else traveling down your pathway in life. You might be their guide through this rough time. We are always looking for more exciting stories to share with the world. If you've got one, come share it with us today. And welcome back. This is episode 43. This is the second segment of Fantastic Friday. Now, I wanted to get to our fantastic man of the day. I really need to get a good word for that. But anyway, hey, Caveman444. He says, "Hey Mark, next time you're on, can you ask the host for me? Since Mark has done 5 of these shows now, and you seem to be very receptive to the concept, could you entertain the idea of possibly changing everyone's story shapes this little blue rock we call home?" To which I will reply to Mr. Caveman 444. But of course, we try to grow with every bit of knowledge we get, and Mr. Man 444, even flat, couldn't it be a flat rock? And couldn't it still be blue? And couldn't we still call it home? You can never blame an awesome fan like the ones you have. Which brings me to the Fantastic Friday contributor, Caveman444. I'm going to have Mark put a link in the description below. Contact us. And without further ado, Mr. Richards,
Dun, 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 dun.
you have a question for Mark. And no, he likes the Burt's Bees lip balm.
Oh,
That's what he
damn
likes
it.
to put on.
Actually, I'm a chapstick guy.
And he doesn't listen. He doesn't listen to the Boy George song. He listens to Crying Game.
Nice.
So it's a little different. It's a
The
little different.
soundtrack to Crying Game. Yeah, that's great. I only use lip gloss when I'm down at the bar. Anyway,
Yeah.
what do you got?
All right. All right. So, I don't know about you, but when the topic got brought up on my lap about 4 years ago, I didn't react quite as hostile as all these other people. Like, why do you think they're acting like they're being sprayed with like holy water and they're demons or something? Like they're going crazy when I mention the word flat Earth.
Oh, just because of the conditioning. It's the only thing we debunk to children. There is no other, and I'll take that one step further, and you probably heard me say it, which is I can talk about the Truman Show all day long. I can talk about enclosed world, enclosed Earth. Take up your term, whatever it is. It is literally the words. So once you say flat Earth, people go freaking ballistic, the holy water scenario, because it is, we're conditioned to do it, and at the same time, it is the only
Do
conspiracy.
me a huge favor. Back away from the mic a little bit, guys. Bye. I hear feedback from one
Yeah,
of you.
somebody turn down their speaker. I got to talk so we can. Okay, that's better. So it's because it's also the only conspiracy they can't get away from. So if you don't want to hear about 9/11, fine, you don't ever have to think about 9/11. But when somebody says, "Oh yeah, by the way, the world you live in isn't the world you live in," what are you going to do to that? I mean, you've got to react one way or the other, and it's that fight or flight instinct. People get really. I mean, you've seen the forums.
Oh yeah.
It's a nightmare. And so I just say, my argument now is like, look, I'm not going to convince you. I don't want to convince you. All I have to do is put the term in your head, put the seed in your head, and like the jury deliberating, it's like all I have to do is plead my case, and you're going to have to go back and deliberate on your own. So just be prepared. You're not going to get away from it. I've tried every method I can think of, and aside from, which is why the Alex Jones show still won't do a show on this, of trying to tell somebody about flat Earth without actually saying the words flat Earth. And I know some people say, no, you just can't use the words. I was like, look, you got to, because you got to get that emotion in them. You've got to get them to deal with it one way or the other. So,
Right. Well, I was talking to someone the other day, and it was the first person that didn't give me negative feedback about it. They were like, "Oh, that'd be pretty cool, actually." I was like, "Oh, okay."
wow, pretty strange. Yeah, that's
It kinda
one. That's one.
that threw me off.
Yeah, that's a rare person. You've heard me say, look, if you're not laughing at this right away when you first hear it, there's something wrong with you, because everybody fights this thing to begin with, including me. Everybody's. I think Jake Gibson, Flat Earth asshole. I thought his line was pretty good, and that is, he goes, "I got into it because I tried to debunk it and I failed." That's really what. That's a T-shirt right there. I tried to debunk Flat Earth and I failed. That should be, I tried to debunk should be the front. I failed is in the back, because that's how everyone starts. Everybody tries to shoot this thing down because everyone thinks they're smart enough to do it, which is why. Today, what scientist, find me even a pseudo scientist that has had no one. It's been a full year now. No one shot this thing down. They're not going to. There's nothing to shoot it down with. We've looked at every single angle there is, and NASA can't even create something now if they wanted to.
I can. I just haven't done it yet.
We had a comet that landed in Russia, and in the
No, it
forest
blew
area.
up. It blew up over Russia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it landed in the. It blew up in the forest.
Oh, it's the Tunguska blast of
There's
1908.
one recently, and
Okay, hold on, Mark. Hold on. What he's referring to? Oh my God, Mark.
No, sorry, no. I get it. Okay, so something recent blew up over
in
Russia.
2013. No, it was a huge meteorite in 2013. It hit just outside one of the
Okay.
major cities.
Well, yeah, but nobody died.
Yeah, it
Otherwise, I
didn't.
would have heard about it.
Well, you should have heard about it. It was all over the
Yeah.
news.
so do you think maybe someone up there directed that to that area?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
It's introducing meteorites, not necessarily comets, but meteorites. That's easy. It is compared to everything else involved in this place. It's literally just introducing a piece of metal ore at speed. The friction from the atmosphere does the rest. And again, try not to aim at populated areas if you can help it, because that defeats the whole purpose. But, you got to wonder why we've never had a city get hit by anything like that, or a super volcano go off, or an earthquake swallow a city. Yeah, we've had earthquakes and some tidal waves here and there, but we've never had a major city. I'm not going to count like Vesuvius or Krakatoa from back in the day. I'm talking. Now.
Yeah, you can't even get the San Francisco earthquake of like 1902, because those were when we were building buildings that were all made of stick.
Yeah, or like the Carrington event from the 1800s, which fried the telegraph lines. If that would have happened now, we would have been put back literally, into the 1800s, if not burned ourselves back into the Stone Age. So, anyway, sorry, Stephen, did you have something else? I know we're running out of time.
Yeah, I got one more question real quick.
Sure.
Who's going to follow up on B.O.B.? Who's going to be the next celebrity to come out, do you think?
Me.
I really would like somebody from Ryan from Humanatory.
Oh, and me too.
And Mark from Humanatory. No, it's gonna be somebody from, I would imagine, someone that he knows, somebody from a talk show. I'm not saying it's gonna be Colbert or Bill Barr or any of those guys, but it's got to be someone along those lines. Who the person I'd like it to be? I'd like it to be Whoopi Goldberg, because she brought it up years ago on The View, and women are receptive to this sort of stuff.
Did she really?
Yeah, she did. She brought it up years ago, and I don't know why she brought it up to the panel on air and said, "How do you know the Earth isn't flat?" And it's stunned. It's the other people that were so stunned that she even brought it up, like a lot of people, that they didn't know how to respond. But she comes off as smart enough and stable enough, and as far as I know, she's never had any weird rantings where she's been considered a kook. So that's who I'd like to see it, but I don't know. Yeah, the third person, I don't know. It's stranger to me, and again, I know we're out of time, is why B.O.B., after getting all that press, after every magazine in the world picked up on this, why he never did a follow-up interview. That kind of screams purpose. It's like, why? Your phone's ringing off the hook. Your agent's calling you every 5 minutes going, dude, Time Magazine, Esquire, MTV, everybody wants to talk to you about this.
Well, no, wait a second. Isn't it possible that he is running into the same problems most of us do? When I first approached you about it, I mean, yeah, everything between us was great and civil. And I'd say, now looking at quite a few months later, we're friends. But when we go on to your YouTube channel, you get a lot of haters. I don't know what the hell they call them.
Trolls.
The people that write, yeah, well, whatever. The people, they write nasty, stupid crap. I mean, and they don't have any valid points. It's all washed away with their anger. But I mean, now imagine his scale. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, you were pointing out to me that he had a lot to lose.
Well,
You know,
not that
he's-
much. His Grammy was in 2010. I mean, if anything, with Hollywood is what have you done for me lately? So, or in the entertainment industry. So why didn't he? I mean, it's free marketing. I mean, there are advertisers, there's agents out there. You can't buy that sort of marketing that happened. All he did was say 2 words, he tweeted "Flat Earth," and the whole world just erupts. I mean, the fact that he was in the Wall Street Journal, how does that happen? That was probably the first time he's ever been in the Wall Street Journal.
It's all right. So, okay, I do have one question, and it's the question of the day. Do you think we should present the historic flat world map along with the current world map taught today?
Should they teach it? Yes. Will they teach it? No. Because they can't. Not in the current paradigm we're in, because the Mercator map is still being used. And we all know.
And explain the Mercator map.
The Mercator map is the pull-down map that you see side to side the world, the big flat rectangular map that's in front of the chalkboard. It's
The one they pull down all the time and
exactly.
point to, and
It's the one we all know it's wrong. All the scientists know it's wrong. The perspectives are way off. The Gall-Peters projection is by far more accurate, but they aren't introducing it because it's like comfort food. They don't want to rock the boat. Plus, I don't think they want people inspecting the map even closer, because at that point the Gall-Peters map becomes a gateway to the flat model. Science doesn't like question marks. They don't like debate. Again, Neil deGrasse Tyson's line, which was "Science is right whether you believe in it or not," one of the most arrogant things I've ever heard in my life. Why would you say that? Because science has been wrong about so many things. But he can't. Science doesn't like debate. No different than, even though they don't know what the core of the Earth looks like, they won't put out a diagram showing a big question mark in the center of a sphere, because they don't like question marks. They're going to say, because people are going to keep asking them. People are going to go to science and say, "What's down there? What's down there? What's down there?" So they just made a cross section and said, "You know what? That's what's down there." And people are like, "Okay,
Like, oh, see you later.
yeah, we don't."
well,
Yep.
people like these.
That's it.
So, hey, Fungus Among Us, do you have any
Yes.
questions for Mr. Sargent?
Yes, I do. Okay.
You got a minute. Spit it out.
Okay.
Quick, go,
Why
go,
does
go.
the moon have spots? Has spots on it, and they never move. They seem the same when you look at the moon. They never move.
Oh, you mean why does the why? You mean the moon craters?
Yeah, the moon craters.
Oh, yeah,
when you
because-
look at the moon, they look the same. Every time I've looked at the moon, and I've been really checking it out.
No,
Yeah,
that's
man
okay.
with vacuum cleaner.
It's a fair question, because not a lot of people know this, and that is the moon. All your good astronomers know it, but the moon rotates with the Earth. They're perfectly synced up to where we only see one side of the moon at all times. That's why, the dark side of the moon joke is, what's on the dark side of the moon we don't know, even though NASA supposedly took a picture recently. And so it lines up with, it's one of those curious
You've
things.
got that picture on your cool trailer.
I do. I do.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why. It's because it rotates with us perfectly.
Humanatory thanks you for listening and your activity within our community. We hope to grow a little each day with the lives of ordinary people doing extraordinary things in life-changing events.
Well, just real quick, like to say thank you to Brian from the Humanatory Network, and thank you for having me on these 2 times. I'm looking forward to being on hopefully next week, and for my interview in the future. And thank you, Mr. Mark Sargent, for taking part out of your busy day to have a discussion with all of us. So just like to say thank you. Everyone have a great day. You can reach me at scuba2114@gmail.com for any questions or concerns. Goodbye.